this is another Hercules movie. We've seen a lot of Hercules characters before. So, in a two-part question, why do you think the character of Hercules is relevant again now, and what's special about the character that brought it to your attention again?
Yeah, I think it's relevant to all people from all walks of life, all generations. It's an iconic story. It's part of history, Greek myths. And I think what's different about this one really is that we have Dwayne Johnson. We used to have Steve Reeves. We used to have Arnold Schwarzenegger. Dwayne is kind of identified and created a character that is known to people globally, but is now owning it. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a reinvention. I feel like he's done the definitive version of Hercules, of this character, which we all know, which is kind of the world's first superhero, I would say.
Yeah, he's very Herculean. Yeah. So was the kind of lesser seen side of the Hercules story, after the labors and what happens there, one of the big draws to get you to make this film?
I think the groundedness of it, the reality of it, the fact that, he's part of a team of mercenaries, and the demystification of the myth is what was interesting to me. And I think it made it different because a lot of the movies that you've seen is just all about the myth. And this is really kind of the origins of the myth and then where it goes and what really happened, so it's exciting.
So this cast is totally international. You've got Norwegian actors, English, Americans, obviously. Yeah. What made you pull them all together like this?
I think it's a global film, and because of the international, the way the world is today, and the globalization of film, and the way the film is traveling around the world globally, and every market matters. That I think why not pull actors from all over the world instead of just American actors?
The cast also has a really good mix of experience, and then you've got somebody who's making their acting debut, like Irina Shayk. Yeah. Was that important as well?
Yeah, no, I like to experiment sometimes in certain roles. You could do that. I mean, obviously the gravitas and the weight of actors like John Hennie and McShane were incredibly, helpful in kind of, managing the tone of the movie because they're just such great actors and consistent, and everyone else kind of falls into place. Otherwise, no, I mean, I pick who's right for the roles, really.
So that stay in Budapest was quite a long shoot, and one of the things that kept cropping up was the heat and the conditions. Was that a real challenge physically for the both of you?
Yeah, it was the warmest summer, I don't know, since ever. It was like 40 degrees in the shooting, so it was challenging. I mean, for us is one thing, but for all the extras...
Well, I felt for them every day. Yeah, no, everybody.
Hours. Yeah, it was
the
tough.
Hungarian people that actually did the setup before we started. Mine was in the cool of the day, but they belong. I mean, that the Central European plain gets. I'd made a film there 4 years ago, and it was the same. Another long shoot that time of year, and it does get up there. It was seriously hot.
One of the parts was all the physical training that you had to do, but also the learning to use the crossbow. How much of a challenge was that? Or the bow and arrow?
Yeah, it was a fun task. Yeah, I got the best people to teach me, and it was 5 weeks of preparation, of rehearsing every day, a few hours every day, and it was really, really tough. I wasn't aware that it was going to be so hard. Actually, drawing the thing back, it's really hard. And also, I wasn't aware when you release it how painful it is to have that string get caught in your arms. It was painful because I wasn't very good, but I got better, luckily.
Ian, you claim you pumped no iron at all during the filming. Is that true?
Absolutely. Well, not when they were looking. God forbid I should actually say no. Absolutely not. Secret, yeah. No, but it's. I play the character that knows when he's going to die, so he's got less, presumably. But it comes out in the end, the gods are, they're not long on information. They're short on specifics, as we say. But no, I enjoyed the chariot training and doing some of the stunt stuff, which is the fighting. But it's very limited because you're limited in what you can. She had a harder time, Ingrid, because she had the actual bow and arrow. I just had this amazing Swiss weapon which had magic powers in it, whatever. I had a good time. It's fun doing that. And riding a horse. And of course, chariot riding, which was actually harder practicing than it was when we actually did the movie.
Oh, really?
Well, I think the adrenaline kicks in by then. You kind of enjoy it. And we're all in it, And you had all these little people in green suits CGI. In case they got seen, so they could, you know, hiding in the chariot. Which is very funny. You look down and be like a creature from from a Doctor Who episode in a green cat suit going like this.
Yeah.
What's funny?
Reece, you would have experience kind of with Prince of Persia and working with a lot of green screen. Something else that was noted with this was it's a much bigger, these sets are built.
Yeah.
How different is that to working with a green screen?
I mean,
How
on Prince of
important
Persia
is
we had a lot of sets, but I think the scale was the major difference here. And you know, look, we're actors, so you know we'll always create something that's not there in terms of imagination and story. However, when you have a set that is tangible and you can walk around it, and you know it's there and it's lit, there's no substitute. I mean, you know, green screens are so like. Everything that you project onto them comes out of your imagination, whereas with a set that's been laboured over for months and months, we have the most incredible set designer. It's just, you don't have to do anything. You can, you know...
And also, I mean, the scope of the movie, it creates a seriousness around the project that you can't really, like, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. Every time you come on set, it's too big to
mess up.
To mess up. You need to do your job.
Not talking for the entire movie. How much of it? That's like one big acting exercise. Is that a real challenge?
It's more of a like personal exercise for me because I like to talk. No, it was fascinating. I mean, when I read the script, I truly loved the character. Thaddeus was for me one of the most interesting characters, and I truly loved him. And of course, I mean, all my friends are talking to each other, and I want to express myself, both as a human being and also as an actor, but also as a character. It gave a lot of flavor to that character that I was stuck there in my shell and couldn't speak.
You're going to see as well, this guy, what he does, you know, you'd assume that if an actor wasn't allowed to speak in a character, that the character would be, you know, at a disadvantage, but the story you get from Aksel and his work is incredible in this film, so.
And Reece, what he does with his character is...
I mean, they knew that though.
Yeah, they did.
You play kind of a Herculean hype man, I suppose, as it were. Do you reckon
Let's get ready!
Exactly. Do you reckon you'd be a good wrestling manager, and could you hype up Aksel?
Ooh, as a wrestler? So if I was like his wrestling hype man?
I presume he'd be Axeman.
That's a good, can you imagine
That's
that?
a good idea.
What are we doing?
What do we do? Let's go.
Let's go. Yes, I could. Yes. Where do I sign?
The wonderful thing about films is, and it's not just this film, but films do bring people together, and maybe not eternally, if you see what I mean, but they do bring people together, and they do make very solid and continuous friendships.
It's a fantastic cast of people. For example, you're making your debut, and you have such a great career behind you, such diverse experience as well. Did you learn a lot? Did you teach a lot? Did you learn something as well, or how did that all work together?
Well, I definitely learned many things on set of the movie because it's completely different from modeling, you know. To be an actress and to be a model, it's like a sky and a ground, you know. It was unforgettable experience for me, and just to sit together with John to do interview together today, it's really a dream become true, and I never thought that I will be at this place in you know, at one point of my career, and for sure it was amazing experience for me, learning experience, and I'm too far away from John, and you know, I never took acting class in my life, but this movie was definitely something that, you know, gave me, you know, thoughts that maybe I can do it too.
No matter how fast you run, no matter how far you go, man cannot escape his fate. Hercules.
Don't do anything foolish.
Where are you going?
Do something foolish.